What's up, you guys? I figured it'd be a fun day. I took the day off work. My birthday was actually a couple days ago, but I wasn't able to take off, so I figure take it off, take the long weekend. And I figured it'd be fun to go to Goodwill and look for some VHS tapes. Okay, I guess we can call this Goodwill hunting. All right. Just parked at Goodwill and they're about to head in. It's actually been a couple years since I went looking for VHS tapes, so I hope they even have any. Let's go check it out. Okay, so just left Goodwill. Got a few things. Wasn't that great of a haul. I feel like this stuff is getting harder and harder to find. I got 3 VHS tapes, a DVD, and a Blu-ray. I'll talk about them when I get back to the house. I think I might actually go stop by another thrift store on the way home just to see if they have anything. Okay, so that was a little bit better of a haul. However, absolutely no VHS tapes. They're just getting harder and harder to find, man. I remember before the pandemic, you could go to a Goodwill on any given day and there would just be tons of tapes. And now there was barely any there and there were absolutely none here at this other thrift store. So, well, I got some DVDs, got another Blu-ray, and we can talk about them when we get back to the house. So let's head out. Okay. All right, we have made it back. We got a lot of stuff to talk about here, guys. So my first stop was obviously Goodwill. And like I said, it's been a few years, and man, they just did not have anything. They barely had any VHS tapes that I either didn't have or wanted. There was a lot of Tai Chi and a few movies that I already had, and then some stuff I just was not very interested in. So I guess we'll start off with the VHS tapes. Go ahead and get that out of the way. So I got a copy of Jerry Maguire. I've never seen this movie, but I know a lot of people collect this movie for some reason. So figured might as well have it in mine. And then I also grabbed a copy of Face Off, another movie that I haven't seen, but a lot of people talk very positively about. So I have to give this one a watch. So that's fun. And then, so there's this movie. Now I have a fun kind of relationship with this movie. This movie's called Murdered by Numbers, a little thriller starring Sandra Bullock. And I don't know if a lot of people have seen this movie or heard about this movie, but my dad was in a band called Breaking Point, and it got cut from the movie, but they had a song in the original soundtrack to this movie. The two young, I think they're the Killers, and at one point they turn on a radio and it was supposed to be a song by my dad's band, and ended up getting cut from the actual final version of the movie. But that's fun. That's my fun little history with that. Now, I did get something. So my birthday was Wednesday, and I've been dealing with a sinus infection all week, so that's not been the most fun. But my birthday was on Wednesday, and my wife, if you guys recall from the VHS collection video, I said I did not have Halloween 6. Well, now, I do have Halloween 6. How fun is that? I now have Halloween 6 on VHS, so this should join my stuff back here. Why not? Let's scoot that over. Now we're having fun. Now I got Halloween 6.
I think it's cool.
All right. So I also got a couple Blu-rays and a lot of DVDs. Now, some of these are movies that I either already had from my childhood but ended up getting scratched up, or were kind of new. This is a movie called... I have no idea what just happened. I think the cat just ran and the dog chased it. Anyway, classic. This movie's called Mirrors. It is a Kiefer Sutherland film. I think there's a fly in here, and that's going to drive me crazy. Oh, boy. Movie called Mirrors, Kiefer Sutherland. I remember people not liking it, and I think I thought it was okay. It's been a long time, but I saw it there, and it was cheap, so I figured, why not? Okay. People doing stuff out there. Okay, Megan. okay, I still haven't seen this movie. I kind of have beef with this movie, okay? But I saw it there. It was a cheap Blu-ray, so I figured might as well give it a buy. But, so when I went to go see this movie, there was actually going to be a free early screening at my local movie theater. And I showed up, my wife and I showed up, we got our popcorn and everything. It was going to be a whole little evening. We show up, and a bunch of people are reserving seats for other people, which you weren't supposed to be able to do. And so there was nowhere for us to sit. And so we took our stuff and we left, and we went to a different movie theater down the street and saw The Whale, starring Brendan Fraser, which is incredible. So kind of happy that that happened. That's it for Blu-rays. Now we're on to a bunch of DVDs. So I got another copy of Creepshow. So Creepshow is one that, I mean, it's a classic. It's one of my favorites, and I grew up watching it, and my dad used to scare the crap out of me when I was a kid. He would, after we watched this movie, he sat outside my door and did the "Where's my cake, Bedelia" part. And that really messed me up, man. That really messed me up as a kid. But it was really fun. And I love this movie, and I will always love this movie. And I've had a copy, this exact same kind of thing, from when I was younger, but it got scratched up. So I'm happy to have it again. Grabbed a copy of Dr. Sleep, another Stephen King. And it is one that I've heard some people say that they like this better than The Shining. I don't know if I'm fully all the way on board like that, but this is an incredible movie, and I figured it'd be a good one to have in my collection. All right, and then we got Lords of Salem. Now, Rob Zombie, I think, has a great sense of style in his movies, but his dialogue and writing can be a little rough at times, to say the least. And this is one I actually haven't seen yet. I think my dad told me that he thought this was his best movie, but I'll have to check this one out. It's a lot of praise for a Rob Zombie movie, and I'll have to check it out for sure. I've started it a couple times and then not finished it, so we'll see if I actually make it through it. Okay, now this is one I only know about because of the Dead Meat channel, the kill count on this movie, called Bones, starring Snoop Dogg. And yeah, it's one that I'm actually going to have to give a watch because I haven't seen it yet, but I'm excited to have it in my possession. All right, this is another one I haven't seen, Sorority Row, which I believe is a remake. And I just thought it was fun to get as well because it's like a little horror remake from the 2000s or whatever. When did this even come out? Oh, 2009. Barely made the cut. Yeah, this is a little remake from the remake era of the 2000s, but it has the Blockbuster little barcode on it. So this is a Blockbuster at one point. Okay, so this is one called As Above, So Below that, in my opinion, if you have not seen this movie, this movie is seriously incredible. It's so good. That fly is in here, bro. That fly is going to drive me crazy. Anyway, this movie is called As Above, So Below, and it is probably my favorite found footage horror movie ever. It's so good. It's this group that are going down into the catacombs and descend into basically hell. It is really, 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 really good. If you have not seen this, I highly, highly, highly recommend this movie. All right, taking a step out of horror into a little bit of skateboard history here with The Lords of Dogtown. This movie is so incredible. I love this movie. I love skateboarding. I was never good at it. I couldn't even drop in to a ramp. Couldn't do it. Like, I can't do a single trick while moving. I could do an ollie, do a little pop shove it. But I love skateboarding. I love the history of skateboarding. The Bones Brigade documentary is probably my most watched movie ever. So got to give that Stacey Peralta love there. But Lords of Dogtown is such a good movie. Emil Hirsch is so good in this movie. Heath Ledger's great in this movie as well. It is one that, like, it's definitely a staple for me. And I had this one. I watched it so much in high school, but it got super scratched up. So I'm happy to have another copy of this movie. Again, highly recommend this movie. If you haven't seen it, you've got to check this out. It is, especially if you're remotely into skateboarding. If you're into skateboarding, you've seen this movie, and you probably love this movie. So I don't even know who I'm talking to with that one. All right, Darkness Falls. All right, this is a fun one. This one may be a guilty pleasure if if you want to put it that way. I love this movie. I think it's really scary. It scared the crap out of me when I was younger. Yeah, sheer terror. It runs rings around the ring. I don't know if I agree with that, but this is a fun one to have on DVD, and it's definitely a very nostalgic horror movie for me. Yeah, this one came out, 2003? This movie came out when I was 10, so I was right at the prime age to have a horror movie about the Tooth Fairy. Come on, man. This is like such a good, scary little romp. You know, we're having a good time. And then finally, another little blockbuster barcode on this one. This is Disturbia with Shia LaBeouf. And don't worry, they're letting you know it's widescreen. But yeah, fun little blockbuster deal there. This is basically, it's basically just Rear Window, right? He's stuck in the house while there's a killer next door and he's trying to figure out what's going on. But I remember seeing it back in the day and loving it. And I will say, I think that that opening scene, the car accident that happens, man, that scarred me. I'm always so afraid that someone's going to do that to me, like drive out of the way or swerve out of the way when someone else has stopped. So what's funny is out of all like the violence and scary stuff that happens in the movie, like that's what stuck with me the most. That was the most viscerally, because that can happen, you know, like that scared the crap out of me. But this is a fun one. I think it deserves a little more credit than it gets, and I have positive memories with it from back in the day. So that wraps it up for my Goodwill haul in terms of movies. I got this little jersey, which is fun. It's Memphis Grizzlies, but it's actually like the Memphis Redbirds, and they sold it there, and it's got the Desmond Bain 22 on the back. Huge Memphis Grizzlies fan. Gotta be, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think that's it. So until next time, be excellent to each other.